Hi, in this video training of Node.js, we will be learning about the HTTP module. The HTTP module is built-in Node.js module which allows Node.js to transfer data over the Hypertext Transfer Protocol HTTP. To include the HTTP module, use the require method. The HTTP module can create an HTTP server that listens to server ports and give a response back to the client. Use the create server method to create an HTTP server. So var HTTP equals require HTTP and then create a server object using create server function on the HTTP object. Let's create a project file for this video training. So I can say HTTP module 1.js and we can require the HTTP module. Let's do a semicolon. Okay. Let's create a server object http.createServer function request response yes dot write hello world yes dot end. Okay, end the response and here we send write a response to the client and we want to listen on port 8080. The server object listens on port 8080. Save the file and go to console. Let's run this program. Module 1.js. Okay. Now we need to run the browser. Okay. We are going to see we have got hello world because we sent an output to the client that is a string called hello world and then we entered the response by using the res.end method. So this is a very simple example of HTTP module and how to create a web server on your own using Node.js. The function passed into the HTTP create server method will be executed when someone tries to access the computer on port 8080. We have already done that and you can do it on your own. Save the code above in a file called demo http.js and initiate the file. If you followed the same steps, you will see the same output as we showed in the video training. Let's add an HTTP header. If the response from the HTTP server is supposed to be displayed as HTML, you should include an HTTP header with the correct content type. So in the current program that we just wrote, we can add a content type in the HTTP header. So we are going to add res.write head 200 is the response code, which means all is okay, and here we are going to send content type and it's xtext/HTML. This will tell the browser that the content is an HTML. Let's stop the server, run it again. This time the content type is HTML. The first argument of the res.writeHead method is the status code. 200 means that all is okay. The second argument is an object containing the response headers. Okay, let's see how we can read the query string using the HTTP server. The function passed into the http.create server has a request argument that represents the request from the client as an object, http.incoming message object. This object has a property called URL which holds the part of the URL that comes after the domain name. So what we are going to do, we are going to modify our program a little bit, and we are going to write the request URL that we received in our browser as a query string. So I'm going to modify this a bit, and I'm going to say request.url. Save the file, and I'm going to terminate the program browser, run it again, and okay, we have hello world again. Save the file, tat. Okay, we have to stop the node server, so Control C. Now the node server is stopped. Let's run it again, and let's run our program. You see we have // now if I say I am Node.js, you see we have got the output as I am Node.js because we are printing out request.url from the query string. So that's how you can read the query string using the request parameter received in the function. The function passed into the http.create server has a request argument that and I said okay, we have already done that, so let's skip this. Okay, so if we type in summer, we will get summer. Okay, if we type in winter, we will get winter, because that's in the query string. Let's split the query string. There are built-in modules to easily split the query string into readable parts, such as the URL module. Let's split the query string into readable parts. For this, we are going to use a built-in module called URL. So I'm going to change our program a bit, and I'm going to require a module called URL, which is a built-in module. And after the writeHead thing, we can say variable q for query parameter and URL dot parse. I can say request.url true.query and var txt equals q.year plus q.month and response.end with the txt, which is the value that we received from the query parameter, that is year and month. Save the file, and let's initiate this file. Stop the Node.js server, run it again, and this time we are going to pass in year and month. So year equals 2021 and month equals 01, that is January, or we can pass in string. So we have 2021 and January. So that's what we did here. We parsed the request parameter URL and we got the exact variables that we were passed in the query parameter, that were month and year, and that we again sent back to the client. So that's how the HTTP module works in Node.js, and it is a built-in module. And you also learned about the URL module, which is used to parse the URL parameter of the request object, and that's how the HTTP module works along with the URL object module. I hope that you have learned about the HTTP and understood the basic concepts. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time with a new topic in Node.js.